Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Today, we're taking a peek at the IAmTheDevil subreddit. I'm planning to take advantage of my mother-in-law and sister-in-law during their time of distress, posted by a throwaway account. Background: my wife sadly passed due to cancer a year ago. We'd been together since we were teenagers, 16 years, and we had 2 children together. My wife came from an extremely rich Indian family. I specifically mention Indian because they booted her out of their place when they found out that we were together and we planned to get married. She was 23 at the time. She was the shame of her family for having a relationship with a non-Indian guy. So she was completely cut out of their family and tossed to the curb. We stayed together, and she was the wait till marriage type, so we had separate rooms until we got married the following year. None of her family attended or sent any kind of congratulations. We worked out of our small apartment and actually managed to progress very far career-wise, to the point where we owned a pretty big place and we were very well off financially. Last year, however, we got the cancer news, and unfortunately, it was caught late. 2 months later, she unfortunately passed. None of her family visited, contacted her, or anything. She reached out, sent emails, and tried to keep them updated. To my knowledge, her family still wanted nothing to do with her. She was 30. It was tough, but I had the help of my family, and we've been doing pretty okay so far. Last week, however, I got a call from her mother saying she's popping in to visit. I thought it was in relation to her daughter, who recently passed, but boy, was I wrong. She came to inspect my home. She decided that it was suitable for her and her daughter to live in. My mother-in-law is 58 and my sister-in-law is 34, with 2 kids, 11 and 6. No husband. He kicked her out after he found someone younger, apparently. She then demanded that I prepare their rooms, to which I told them to F off and kicked her out. She didn't once mention my wife, our kids, or anything. Literally the first contact in years. She then harassed me multiple times a day to prepare the house for them to live in. At this stage, I was pissed, and because she was so evasive as to why all of a sudden they wanted to stay with me, I did some snooping. Turns out, her dad's business was run into the ground by mother-in-law and co. My wife's father passed away a few years after kicking her out and even forbade her from attending his funeral. They had to sell the business, cars, and houses to pay the debt, leaving them with nothing. I was tired of being the good guy and really didn't want to help them after all they'd put us through, even though I badly want to help family who was struggling. I realized they still see me, my wife and kids, as dirt. Yesterday, I had my attorneys draw up some pretty ironclad paperwork with rules and requirements that they would need to follow to move in. And it has everything on it, from doing the housework to keeping the pool and garden clean, even including different X-rated activities twice a week for each of them. Ew! So he wants to bang his deceased wife's mum and sister? I can't kick them to the streets, but I don't want them to be too comfortable. And since I'm not really interested in the dating scene, using them as some sort of relief works for me. Your wife's mum? You want to use your wife's mum, your kid's grandmother, to fulfill your needs. Gross! I know most would look at me as disgusting for what I'm going to do, but honestly, I just don't care anymore. I'm having them over in about 4 hours to sign the contract, and I'm gonna go through every single detail and duty they need to perform, no grey areas. Honestly, I cannot wait to see the look of shock on their faces. These vultures have given me another reason to be happy. Far too few happy days lately. Edit. The contract is a marriage contract for both mother-in-law and sister-in-law. There'll be prenups as well. Apparently this works fine, according to my attorneys. What the F country do you live in where this could be legal? And would they need to film these duties to prove they were being done? Edit 2. They'll be living in the servant quarters on the other side of the property. No interaction with the main household. I really hope this is just some story he's made up to make himself feel better. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my sister-in-law for not eating cake at my wedding? Posted by Remarkable Care 2619. I, 26 female, just got married to the love of my life, 30 male, in December. He proposed in summer 2022, but we decided to hold off on the wedding due to some personal reasons. I have never gotten along with my sister-in-law, 25 female. She's always trying to put me down and is overall not the kindest. I met my husband through her when I was 20. She's been kinda distant since then. When she and I were friends, I shared a lot of my insecurities with her. I used to be 300 pounds and was very insecure about it. I went on a weight loss journey and she always felt the need to compete with me, but she wasn't able to lose the weight. If I worked out for an hour, she had to work out for 2. If I chose something healthy on the menu, she would laugh at me. Despite us drifting, this hasn't really gone away. I've lost some weight and now I'm at a healthy weight. It's important to note that I lost weight for health reasons and not appearance reasons. Despite this, I think losing weight has made men more attracted to me. Not that this is important. I am now thinner than her. She is chubby, but not fat like I was. Of course, she was at my wedding. She was a bridesmaid. Her and I were actually getting along well. She was actually super supportive during the whole process. The ceremony was gorgeous, and I wouldn't hesitate to call it the best day of my life. During the reception, the cake came out, and everyone was having it, and I noticed that she wasn't. I could see her eyeing me as I ate cake. I had 2 slices, and by the time I was on my second slice, I could feel her eyes. I felt like she was judging me for eating cake after my weight loss. I think she's jealous because I was able to lose weight, and she wasn't. So, you're upset because, checks notes, she didn't eat cake and looked at the bride? I think this feud might literally be all in your head. She never said anything, you just felt her eyes on you and assumed you knew what she was thinking. I was tipsy and decided to confront her. I asked her what her problem was and why she wasn't eating the cake. She seemed offended but didn't say anything. This upset me even more and I lost it. I told her that she thinks she's a good person when she's really not. She didn't do anything. You're just randomly attacking her out of nowhere. I also accused her of being in love with my husband. Wait, isn't your sister-in-law your husband's sister? Am I getting that right? She left in tears and the rest of the night was tainted from the interaction that you created. My maid of honor texted me and told me that I way overreacted. Over her having eyeballs? Yeah, I think you did. And some other guests shared her sentiment. I haven't apologized, but I have been thinking about it since my mother-in-law cut me and my husband off. My husband agrees she's probably in love with him and I should just leave it alone. Am I the a-hole? He sounds super self-absorbed too. You guys are perfect for each other. Edit. I want to give more context on our friendship. When I was bigger than her, she would make remarks about me being the cow of the friend group. When I started my weight loss, she made fun of me for it. Now that I'm thinner than her, I think she's jealous that I'm able to eat cake now. Did she actually say those things, or was this another argument you had in your head? I kind of have a hard time believing OP, given her deranged actions. I mean, she somehow took sister-in-law not eating cake, and God forbid, looking at the bride as fat shaming? Even if sister-in-law did actually bully her for being fat in the past, which would not be okay, would that make it reasonable for her to demand that sister-in-law eat cake and then yell at her over it? Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend to change her page? Posted by NoPhilosopher6192. Okay, so this might sound stupid, but I just need to hear that I'm not the crazy one. My girlfriend, 22 female, does cosplay content online, so she has a Linktree. I want to say here that I have no problem with her content. She doesn't do nudes, she's not on OnlyFans, and it helps pay for the bills. It's also important to note that my girlfriend is originally from India, and English is her second language. Alright, context out of the way, here is my issue. My girlfriend likes to have fun with her links on Linktree. The Patreon link might say something like, "Wanna buy me something?" or "Help support me." Recently, she made a button that she's rather proud of that leads to her Twitter. The button says, "Wanna see my ex?" No joking, that's what it says. She thinks it's a clever play on words because Twitter has changed to X. I told her to change it because it sounds explicitly pornographic. We got into a fight over it. She thinks I'm controlling her, limiting her expression and so forth. I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but she does online content. This is going to bring the worst creeps from the deepest sewers of the internet to her page and into our lives. The problem is, she's got friends for whom English is also a second and third language, backing her up, and they're making me out as a crazy control freak. Am I the a-hole? Wanna see my ex is a clever play on words. What's he talking about? She obviously knows what the ex is implying. He keeps acting like her and her friends being bilingual means they just don't understand the implication. She's not an idiot, mate. She probably already has creeps sliding into her DMs all the time and knows how to deal with it. So, were there any OPs you thought were misunderstood and shouldn't have been put into the IAmTheDevil subreddit? Let me know. Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.